So I guess watching this, one of the biggest questions I have is, let's say, Ayatollah is lured out of Iran and kind of gets exiled, or he has a heart attack, or he's killed in an airstrike, or in some way the government collapses. How hopeful are you about what comes next versus how concerned are you that it could kind of spiral into a bad situation?
So it will be chaotic. We we have some sort of opposition groups outside Iran and inside Iran, but there is no consortium of one voice among them at this time. Nonetheless, what is common between all of them is that none of them they want the current dictatorship. Now, here is a word of optimism and hope. In 1969, when the Islamic Revolution happened, at that time we had social democrat groups, the Mujahideen Khalq, the Islamic militia group, and some Islamic groups also. They were all fighting. About 15 different major groups were fighting, and each of them were claiming, yes, I should be the power. The one who won the situation was Ayatollah Khomeini, with the rhetoric that he played literally in the last minute. He was not on the scene up until just about 10 months before the revolution, whereas other groups were fighting for 15 years already, right? So they paved the road and someone came and stole the ball. This is what is going to happen also in this situation. Now, is this going to be the best? No. There will be chaotic. There will be a lot of mass execution. There will be a lot of challenges. There will be challenges. There are prices to pay. But the direction is good because it is not like 1979 anymore. It's more the world is aware of what is happening, and the people of Iran are well connected, well educated, and well connected. Now, my hope here's my prayer. All right, my hope is to see something that is not written word by word, but it is. I've started having a feeling and started reading in between lines. There is a large group of Iranians who are who have been educated outside Iran, super wealthy, entrepreneurial thinkers, strategists, well connected to different sources of trade and power, and they are very interested to reinvest on Iran. People who are big figures. I don't want to start because I don't want to lose a name, just listing a large name, group of names, of people who are super wealthy, big money, that they are very interested to rebuild Iran. And when they go, they will have a say to the politicians, because most of the politicians who are claiming the power, they don't have money. They have brain, but they don't have the tools for it. My reading is to see, I don't want to criticize. I want to say the importance of someone who has a good amount of money can contribute to the winning ticket, like it happened last year in the United States. This is what is happening for Iran. A large group of businessmen have started forming a group and understanding of how to invest in the future of Iran. There will be billions of dollars of money injected into Iran to rebuild. What happened in the past 6 days is going to cost Iran tens of years to rebuild without a lot of enormous amount of money. Refineries are not small business.
Right,
Refineries are being destroyed, right?
right.
Roads and airplanes and airports and all those things, right? So radars, you name it. But all of these, when there is a mass amount of investment coming from within the Iranian community, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the uh, dirty money coming from around the world, which there will be a catch on any of those. I can see a large group of Iranians who are towards their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're super wealthy and they're very interested in investing and building the future of Iran. They will determine the future. So I'm not worried about who comes next. There will be a chaotic moment. We will go from bad to worse, but then we'll be picked up super quickly because there is a connectivity with the world and also a great deal of interest by the businessmen and strong businessmen around the world who want to reinvest in the future of Iran.
So, what do you think the likelihood of outside interference is in that reformation process? Like, we saw when Afghanistan fell,
Right.
The Chinese were right there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't see right now in America that's willing to, you know, I think America would be willing to invest in a process like that, of course. Um, but I think China's like extremely aggressive. Russia's
Yeah.
extremely aggressive, and they already are buying most of the oil exports that are coming out of these countries. So, um, if a country like China were to come in, you talked earlier about the Ayatollah coming and stealing the ball. Like, what's stopping China, for instance, from putting a literal Manchurian candidate
Yeah.
in the mix and then stealing the ball at the last minute? Because I think looking at it from like a we don't live in Iran, right? Like we live in Washington State. I have relatives in Turkey. They're afraid. There are people I know in Israel. They're afraid. There are people I know in Iran. They're all afraid. Um, but I think that the success of the military campaign has pushed the things that you've just said to the forefront, right? Like,
Yeah.
who will be the heir to Iran if the regime does actually fall? If they're actually able to pull this off, and what prevents um, negative traction?
Right. Russia does not have a lot of grounds in Iran anymore because of the past history. Iran and Russia have had a very nasty history before the Islamic Revolution came, and then especially before these 25 years ago till now, that Khamenei has started leaning heavily towards Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Russia has become increasingly disrespected in the society. China, on the other side, even though there's not much happening, but China has taken a lot of strategic steps way in advance. 4 years ago, they signed a 99 years treaty agreement with the government of Iran that dropping that treaty agreement will cost us billions of dollars. So that might be, Iran still is on the hook. It's an international trade agreement. It's just a gentleman's handshake. It's a serious agreement.
Sure.
And it's a long process to get rid of that. I mean, coming out of that. It's a possibility. It's a very high possibility, but that would be a very dirty nightmare for us to think about it. What is also possible that breaks my heart is what happened in the 1980s in Afghanistan. At one point, a nation that was united after 4 or 5 years of catastrophes went into 16 different political groups. At one point,
Factions.
Afghanistan had 16 what they call it Jorgay, or different political groups. Each of those 16 was claiming that the nation is theirs and all the other 15 were wrong. It's very possible that Iran will go through a major challenge of the Azeris in the northwest claiming independency, the Kurds doing the same, Baluchis in the southeast will do the same thing, Arabs in the southwest will do the same. So, and then that's ethnic possibility of challenges. Also, there are political challenges among. It is very possible that the military will intervene. A coup might take place. There have been conversations that an internal coup was forming, so they started calling Khamenei's son the Ben Salman of Iran. They started calling him the son of the current supreme leader as the reformist, saying that if he comes, unlike his father, he will bring reforms to Iran as Ben Salman did to Saudi Arabia, etc., which, in my opinion, that would be much worse than what his father was. He is a more stronger radical, Mujtaba is.
Yeah, like
Um,
maybe more like the second Assad versus the first Assad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Bashar was much worse than Hafez Assad.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. So, this is. There have been some conversations that we know that the Sepah, the Islamic Republic military guard, or the guardians who have been affected heavily, will not have a place in the future of Iran because they are most hated. But it is a possibility that the army, the other branch of army, might start a coup. They have started sending messages that worries me, similar to what happened in Libya when Muammar Gaddafi came on board. So the possibility of the socialism, China, specifically China, affecting Iran is high. The possibility of separation based on ethnicity is high. It's very high. And also the possibility of an internal coup with a different version of Islamic government, but that is different, is high. My hope is that none of those will happen. A lot of people in the circle of friends that I have, they love the prince, the crown prince, but he's an amazing good man. He's an amazing good man, but he doesn't have enough leverage to lead the nation. He's an amazingly good man, wonderful man, but he's too soft to lead a traumatized nation. He's too American. He's so gentle.
You need someone with a little bit more grit.
Now he reminds me of from Afghanistan.
Ashraf Ghani.
Yeah, he reminds me of Ghani a
Mm.
little bit. At least
Yeah, living in Chicago, going to
right.
Afghanistan, but didn't do much.
Right. Taking a too Western of an approach.